Guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're well and eating good. This is episode 4 of my Cheap 20 series. But frying calamari takes no time at all, and most of it comes from cleaning the calamari, which you can get your fishmonger to do, or you could just buy the squid rings. I will write in my blog post about how you can freshen up seafood that's frozen, so don't worry about, you know, spending too much money on fresh calamari. I also made a special Dominaise. I think everyone has mayonnaise in their fridge, and if you don't, good, because I don't really like mayonnaise anyway. But if you use this recipe, trust me, you're going to want to put this mayonnaise on everything. I don't know, it's really easy, this recipe, so I don't feel like I have to say much. I do know how to make my own mayonnaise. It's funny because this is a dish I made on the UK version of Culinary Genius. One actually has time to do that. I definitely don't. Today has been a busy day, so I had to do everything pretty quickly, but it's so easy, so delicious, and I really want you guys to try it. If you do try this recipe, please send me pictures, or any of my recipes. I love it when you guys send me photos. If you need any help, email me, comment, follow my Twitter, my Instagram, Facebook page, everything, and you know, get at me, guys. I love it when you guys interact with me. So without further ado, let's just get into the recipe.
Hey guys, so if you get the squid, it will look like this. If you get it whole, you can just get your fishmonger to clean it for you, or just simply buy the squid rings. Don't worry, I'll have all the information on my blog. Just want to pull the head away from the tentacles, just like that. Pull out this kind of silver back thing. I don't remember what it's called, but it's kind of like a spine basically. It looks like glass. Make sure you take that out. You want to cut just below the eyes and remove that. It's not edible. There's also a little beak underneath the tentacle. If you just push through, it's kind of like its tooth, so you want to pull that out. Also not edible. Want to trim the tentacles just to make it neat, and once that's done, you can just put it down. That's really all it is. So that's a nice clean tentacle for you. And for the body, I like to open it up and just clean out the gunk. This was very fresh. I found a whole fish in mine, so I chose to open it up. Again, I'm showing you here, just take out that glass looking spine thing. I'll have the name somewhere there. Once you're done, put everything into a bowl, and you want to put some salt. I'll put the measurements in my blog post. This isn't to season it, it's to scrub off most of the slime, okay? And I do this because I want it super clean. There's loads of slime in there, and sometimes I've had calamari and you know, it's not being cleaned properly, and that's not pleasant to eat. So try to do this step. Even if you do buy it pre-cleaned, do this step. Rinse it off and maybe take off some of the skin. It's perfectly edible. You don't have to do this. I left some on because it was too fiddly, but you can clean it off if you want to. Once that's done, you need to completely pat the squid dry. Do not skip this step. Get some paper towels and completely dry the squid. That way you won't have too much splattering, you won't have any liquid or anything in the batter. You want it completely dry. I don't mind being so vigorous and violent here. Do it neatly, okay? I mean, softly, okay? Put it into a bowl and cut them into little rings, okay? I did it with the scissors, but my camera stopped filming. Next, I season with some salt. I also season with some onion powder, some garlic powder. I will have all the measurements and all the list of all the ingredients in my blog post, so please check that out. And these are all part of my pantry essentials, so there's nothing here that you need to buy again. If you have watched that video, it will be in the description. And I'm also going to use some sweet paprika. You can use smoked, and this is what gives it that bright, vibrant color. A lot of people are asking me, how did I get such a vibrant looking calamari? And this is how, by just adding some paprika. Also adding some chili flakes because, you know, I like a bit of heat, and just give that a stir. I like to season my calamari before I put the batter on. A lot of places do not do this, and I don't understand why. I think it's important to season as you go, before and after. Not skip this step. Make sure you season before as well as the batter. That way we have the maximum, most amount of flavor. Don't need to marinate this for long, just 5 minutes while we make the mayonnaise. For the mayonnaise, you just need a clove of garlic and smash it with your knife. Sorry, I didn't know you couldn't see it there. I'm using a mortar and pestle, but you do not have to do this. You could either use a garlic crusher, or you could use a fork on a chopping board and just add a bit of salt, which helps break down the garlic and makes it easier for you to mash up. It's really easy. You don't want to just chop up the garlic because it won't infuse the mayonnaise properly. You need it to be a paste so it can mix with everything else just as easily. Okay, so mash, mash, mash. Use your garlic pressure if you are, whatever you want to use. I'll have more information in my blog again. Next, we're just gonna add a wedge of lemon, some lemon juice. Use fresh lemon juice, please, okay? Don't use the bottle stuff. At least buy a fresh lemon and just mix that around. Next, I'm gonna use some mayonnaise, shop ball, whatever you have, Hellmann's, whatever it is. Just add that in there, okay? Usually mayonnaise is really bland, but this takes your mayonnaise from 0 to 100. Trust me. I'm gonna season with some pepper. I already added salt in the beginning. I like a lot of pepper, a lot. So I'm gonna put some of that, and then I'm gonna stir that round and just make sure it's all infused. I use a knife here, but put some paprika in there. Don't use a knife like me. I was just being lazy. The paprika gives it a nice bit of color as well as a bit of flavor. So, you know, this is optional, but I do like to do it. You could also use saffron if you have that. Taste for seasoning, which is always important. Taste. Mine was perfect. I think I needed a bit of pepper here, and I was absolutely fine, but I love pepper. Once that's done, it's literally the best thing, guys. Don't just use this for calamari. Use it whenever you want to use mayo on anything. It's the best. So all done. Really just going to put that in the fridge, and that's nice and ready for us. And then next we're going to move on to the dish. So next, for the squid, I'm going to be using a mix of corn flour, plain flour and baking powder. I use a mixture of corn flour and plain flour because I feel the corn flour gives it a nice crispness, and plain flour for frying. Baking powder adds an extra depth of crispness. You don't have to add this, but I do recommend that you use this. If you followed my salt and pepper wings recipe, then you should have some baking powder in your house, and if you don't, get some, because I'm going to be showing you some recipes that have baking powder in them. So add the flour. I'm not adding too much flour here, and I'm not using another plate. I'm not making more mess. You can honestly do everything in the bowl, okay? This is so easy to do. It's very light as well. We're not having to do eggs or anything. There's enough moisture on the squid alone, even though you patted it dry. I'm gonna season again on top of that with the same things that we seasoned before we added the flour. So salt, some onion powder, some garlic powder, as well as some pepper and some paprika, okay? So it's literally just adding flavor before and after. Remember, when you add an ingredient, you take away flavor and you have to add that back. So do not skip this, guys. I'm adding some paprika, which will then give it that amazing color we get and just another depth of flavor. Toss that around, no need to do anything fussy with it. Next, we need to heat the vegetable oil. I'm using sunflower oil, which is best frying, or vegetable, rapeseed, any flavorless oil. I'm also shallow frying. You do not need a deep fryer. I also feel this way you use less oil, and you can also actually use the oil, you know. I like to test one, squid out, like one of the flaps out, and just to taste it for seasoning, because if you just fry everything and you haven't tasted it, you'll be really disappointed when you make the whole batch and realize it doesn't have much flavor. So I have some paper towels on a plate there. Sorry, I didn't show you that. Make sure you have some paper towels ready. And I just tasted one of them just to see if it had enough salt, enough seasoning, and it was perfect. So I just threw them in. They literally take 30 seconds to cook, guys. Do not overcook them. 30 seconds to a minute, depending on how big they are, okay? Some of mine were a bit big, and they're really splashing. So make sure you're careful, okay? I was trying to dance around the pan. You'll see me there. Ooh, look, okay? So be really careful. But yeah, they honestly do not take long to cook at all. If you cook them for too long, they become really rubbery and not that pleasant to eat. So just 30 seconds to a minute until they're nice and crispy. You'll feel them. They literally get that crispy that quickly, and I think it's because of the baking powder, so I highly recommend you use that. So you see that's done. Just finish frying. That's the the whole batch, and it's pretty much it, guys. This oil, do not throw it away. There's so much flavor there. I know you're thinking it has flour in it, but what you can do is wait for the oil to cool down. After you finish frying, the flour will sink to the bottom, and just strain the oil into a container, and I just put it in the fridge, and I use that in other dishes now, and it will last me quite a while. And it's like a paprika garlicky oil that's just delicious. Serve it up, serve up the alioli, get yourself a drink, okay, and enjoy. Please let me know how you find this. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Bye, guys.
Okay, so let's try the calamari. To be honest, I already ate some because it tasted so damn good, and I had my whole house smelling like Usually I don't condone frying, but you know, once in a while we have to treat ourselves, so why not it like that, because it's do that. Guys, it's so bomb. It's just it's so good, so good. Now in the dip, and I usually don't like mayo, but this I was like licking the heck out of it. It's so good. I'm honestly gonna eat all of it in like 5 seconds. It doesn't take much time, it's so easy, so please guys, give this a try. Have it with a drink, it's summer, make it, takes 2 seconds. And you know, I really hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. If you did enjoy the video and this recipe, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, like, you know I'm gonna tell you every time. Subscribe, like, share, tell all your friends that they don't need to go out to buy this anymore, and enjoy. Thank you for watching my video.